Sarah Cuello, and for my midterm project, I have decided to compare two language systems. Let's begin with talking about what is language and is it unique to humans? Language, as defined by Merriam-Webster, is the words, their pronunciation, and the methods of combining them used and understood by a community, which means that we have language because we have agreed to understand each other. And is it unique to humans? Yes, it is unique to humans. Language is a method that we can use to communicate that allows us to express an infinite amount of ideas, feelings, words to one another, as where animals can communicate with each other, but they can only communicate certain things. They have very specific subjects that they can communicate. And this makes language unique to us because we don't have a limit on what we can say or express. So today I will be comparing Spanish and English. Nouns and gender. Do we really have to classify every inanimate object? Yes, we do in Spanish. In Spanish, every noun has a gender, like a table would be mesa, which is feminine, and grass is pasto, which is masculine. It doesn't really have a why or reason for the gender that it gets, but each noun does have a gender. In English, really the only things that are known to kind of have a gender are like car or ship, which kind of take on a feminine gender. So, she's a beauty, that Mustang there, would be an example of a sentence where a car would be classified as feminine. Another thing that we want to talk about are adjectives. So in English, we know everything about what we are talking about, and then we know what we're talking about. Well, in Spanish, we know everything, or we know what we're talking about, and then everything about it, except for size and quantity. So size and quantity remain before the noun, while everything else is after. So in this example, Tom drives a little red car. Tom maneja un pequeño carro rojo. So red goes after car, but little, pequeño, precedes it. Also, in Spanish, one word can be a whole sentence. So, nieva, for example, it snows. While it isn't a huge subject and it doesn't really mean a lot, we still need the word in the sentence to be a complete thought. It snows. Nieva in Spanish. We know that it is it because of the conjugation, because each of the verbs carry a different conjugation. So the subject is assumed by the conjugation that it holds in this form. We have also borrowed many words from Spanish and Spanish from English. So many of the words that I think of that we use in English from Spanish are food. So taco, burrito, salsa, guacamole, even avocado is borrowed, even though it's not the same exact word, which is aguacate in Spanish. There are also cities in Texas and across the US that have Spanish names but have adopted an English pronunciation, such as Amarillo, Amarillo, Llano, Llano, San Antonio, San Antonio, and El Paso, El Paso. There's also a city called La Vaca, which means the cow, and it is La Vaca. So there's not a whole lot of difference, but there is a slight difference. In Spanish, they have borrowed words from us, such as truck, troca, or lunch, lonche, which have their camioneta and almuerzo, their original words, but now that we have added words to the dictionary in Spanish. Also, as you see here, no hacer parking acá. And in the purest form, this should say no estacionarse acá. But instead, they have adopted parking, which is common across all Latin America, and it's even made its way onto a sign. Now that we've seen a little bit about grammar, Spanish and English, let's learn a little bit about sounds. So in American English, it is commonly known that we have 12 vowel sounds. It obviously depends country to country, region to region. There are more vowel sounds, but 12 vowel sounds in American English are the most commonly used. So this makes it very hard for English language learners and even English speakers sometimes to read words, because the same two letters that make one sound in one word can make a different sound in a different word. Well, in Spanish, there are 5 vowels, like in English. However, there are only 5 vowel sounds. A, E, I, O, U. And that is it. You were reading, it doesn't matter. Each letter is pronounced exactly how it sounds by itself. And so this makes reading extremely easy for people who are learning language, even though it is kind of daunting because especially English language speakers, we have certain letters that make certain sounds together, but in Spanish, it doesn't. So it shouldn't be daunting, and it's very easy. And thank you, Spanish, for your 5 vowel sounds. We really appreciate that coming from English. So the SP cannot start a word. The SP combination. Sp. You cannot start a word like that in Spanish. So what Spanish has done is they've added an E, which is pronounced E, in front of the word. So like this word that we see here, spaghetti, spaghetti. It has to have the E in front of it to be a correct word in Spanish. The same for Spanish, español. So we have to put an E in front of it. Or even Sprite, Sprite. It's pronounced the same in English, but you have to have that E in front of it because really Spanish speakers don't know what to do when they just have an SP at the start of the word. They always add an E. So some sounds made in English by combining 2 letters together, such as ch, ch, which would look like this, are actually made their way into the Spanish alphabet. So ch, ch, y, ll, and rr made their way into the alphabet as individual letters. Well, in 2010, the Royal Spanish Academy took those letters out of the alphabet. However, they're still commonly taught in classrooms around the world. The only letter that Spanish has in their alphabet that English doesn't would be the ñ, which is this letter. Oops, this letter. And it makes a ñ sound. So words like mañana, which mean tomorrow, have the ñ. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I really hope that you learned a little bit about the differences between Spanish and English today. I had a really good time researching these things, and I had a really good time making this presentation. So thank you very much. Goodbye.